students. In today's class, we are starting a new chapter, hydrocarbons. As the name says, hydrocarbon means there is existence of only carbon and hydrogen in the organic compound. So, there can be two bonds if there are only carbon and hydrogen. One bond will be between carbon and carbon. The other bond will be between carbon and hydrogen. So, let's try to classify hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons can be classified into two: acyclic hydrocarbons and cyclic hydrocarbons. Acyclic hydrocarbons means the hydrocarbons are in a straight chain, or they can even be branched, but they won't be cyclic. So, acyclic hydrocarbons can be again classified into saturated and unsaturated. Saturated hydrocarbons and unsaturated hydrocarbons. We already know that saturated hydrocarbons means there is a presence of only single bond in that organic compound. And unsaturated hydrocarbon means there will be presence of multiple bonds in the organic compound. So, unsaturated hydrocarbons can be classified into alkenes and alkynes. That means compounds containing double bond in them are alkenes and compounds containing triple bond in them are alkynes. So, we can classify unsaturated hydrocarbon into alkenes and alkynes. And if we take the example of cyclic hydrocarbon, they can be classified into cycloalkanes and arenes. Cycloalkanes are the compounds, cyclic compounds, which contain only single bond in them. Few examples are cyclopropane, cyclopentane are the few examples of that. And arenes are the compound which contain multiple bond in them. Cyclic compound which contain multiple bond in them. For example, benzene, naphthalene are few examples of arenes. So, now let's start learning about alkanes. They are also called as paraffins. That is, they are less reactive. The hydrocarbons which contain only single bond in them are called as alkanes, or they are saturated hydrocarbons. The general formula for alkane is CnH2n plus 2. They can be a straight chain hydrocarbon or they can be cyclic hydrocarbon. So, few examples are CH4 called methane, CH3 name ethane, CH3 CH2 CH3, propane, CH3 CH2 CH2 CH3, butane. See, we know the root word, that is, if one carbon atom is present, the root word is meth. And since it is alkane molecule, that is, there is only single bond between this compound, it is ane. So, it is methane. Since there are two carbon atoms, the root name is eth. And since it contains only single bond in them, it is ane, ethane. Since there are 3 carbon atoms, the root word is prop. And since there is only single bond in this compound, it is ane, propane. And since there are 4 carbon atoms in this compound, the root word is bute. And since it contains only single bond in this compound, the word will be butane. All these come under alkane hydrocarbons. So this is straight chain hydrocarbons. So alkanes can also be cyclic. If we consider example where CH2, CH2, CH2. This is a cyclic compound. Okay. In this case, we can say that 3 carbon atoms are cyclically bonded. So it is proper. And since it only contains single bond between them, it is propane. And since it is cyclic compound, we can name it as cyclopropane. That is how the name cyclopropane is given. Now consider a cyclic compound which contains 4 carbon atoms bonded with a single bond. So that is CH2, so this is a cyclic hydrocarbon which contains 4 carbon atoms bonded with a single bond. So in this case, since it contains 4 carbon atoms, the root name will be bute. And since they are all bonded with a single bond, it is butane. And since it is a cyclic compound, the name will become cyclobutane. This is how it goes. If the cyclic compound contains 5 carbon atoms and if it contains only single bond in them, we call it cyclopentane. And if it contains 6 carbon atoms and if all the 6 carbon atoms are singly bonded, then it is called cyclohexane. Now we are going to study the nomenclature of alkanes. We have already learned the rules for the nomenclature of hydrocarbons in your previous chapter. So we know that if the alkanes contain 1 carbon atom, then it is methane. And if it contains 2 carbon atoms, it is ethane. And if it contains 3 carbon atoms, it is propane. And if it contains 4 carbon atoms, it is butane. Now, we are going to consider the case where there is no branching. We can say that a straight chain of hydrocarbon is taken. For example, if we take the case of CH3, CH2, CH3. The name of this hydrocarbon will be propane. And in the case of CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3, the naming will be butane. That is because 4 carbon atoms are there. Okay. Now, let's consider the case where there is branching. If you take the case where there is branching on the second carbon atom, that is CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, CH3. In this case, we can say that as a total there is 4 carbon atom, but there is substitution on the second carbon. So the naming will be isobutane. Let's consider another example. CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, CH3. In this case also we can say there are 5 carbon atoms and the substitution is on the second carbon atom. And they are all single, all the bonding between this compound is single bond. So we can say it is summarize by saying that if there is a substitution on the second carbon atom, and if there is only one substitution on the second carbon atom, then we use a prefix as iso. Now, let's consider a case where there is a substitution of two methyl groups on the second carbon atom on a continuous chain. In that case, the naming will be given a little bit different from the other names which we already learned. So, let's consider a case where CH3 is given. In this case, you can see that it is a continuous chain and two carbon atoms are attached on the second carbon in the continuous chain. So, and we know that there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 carbon atoms. So, we will add a prefix called neo. Name neo. Neo will be added at the prefix of the organic compound. So, neo, since there are 5 carbon atom, it is pent. And only single bond is present in this organic compound, we can say it as neopentane. So now if you are considering another example where two methyl groups are substituted on the second carbon atom. Let's consider an example where there are 6 carbon atoms. So that is CH3, CH3, CH2, CH3. So here you can see that there is a substitution of two methyl groups on the second carbon atom of a continuous chain, and this compound contains only single bond within them, and there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon atom. So here, since there are two methyl groups substituted on the second carbon atom, we use the prefix neo. So it is neo, 6 carbon atoms, hexane. It's neohexane. So this is how the common nomenclature of alkenes are given depending upon the number of carbon atoms. So this is how the common nomenclature of alkenes are given. You have already learned the IUPAC nomenclature of alkenes in your previous chapter. So let's proceed. So let's learn the isomerism of alkenes. We know that alkanes have only single bond within them. They do not contain a double bond or a functional group within them. So it will only exhibit chain isomerism. So let's consider a few examples. Now if we consider the first 3 members of the alkane family, that is CH4 and C2H6. Then C3H8. They do not exhibit any chain isomerism. Okay, so as we go higher, that is from the fourth member of the alkane family, it exhibits isomerism. Let's consider the case where there is 4 carbon atoms. So that is butane, that is C4H10. So there is a possibility in the change in the arrangement of butane in the long chain. Even there can be change in the arrangement of carbon methyl group in the long chain. So this is one way of representing butane. We can represent N-butane. We can represent it in another way where there is a substitution of methyl group on the second carbon atom on the long chain. So this can even be represented like this: CH3, CH, CH3, CH3. So we know that even though the molecular formula is the same, that is C4H10, the arrangement of carbon atom in the molecule is different. So we can say that the name will be isobutane. So this is one isomer of butane. Now as we go higher, that is the fifth member of alkane group, that is pentane, will show still more chain isomerism. And as we keep on moving higher, it will show more number of chain isomerism. Let's consider the case of pentane. So now let's consider the fifth member of alkane family, that is C5H12. The molecular formula is C5H12. And this CH3, CH2, 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 CH3. So you can see that there is 5 carbon atoms and a total of 12 hydrogen atoms. So the naming is propane. Naming is pentane since it contains 5. It can be even named as N-pentane. So the another arrangement where the molecular formula will be the same but there is a difference in the arrangement is CH3, CH, CH3, CH3, CH2, CH3. In this case, you can see that there is a total of 5 carbon atoms and a total of 12 hydrogen atoms. So there is no change in the molecular formula, but there is a change in the arrangement. So we can say, since methyl group is substituted on the second carbon atom of the chain, we can say it is isopentane, or it is otherwise named as 2-methyl-butane. Since a methyl group is substituted on the second carbon atom, we give 2. And since the methyl group is substituted on the second carbon atom, we are giving it as 2-methyl. And the long chain contains 4 carbon atoms, so it is butane. So if we consider another chain isomer of pentane is CH3, C, CH3, CH3, CH3. That is, 2 methyl groups are attached on the second carbon atom of the long chain. In that case, the naming is given as neopentane, or it can be called 2,2-dimethyl propane. That is because 2 methyl groups are attached on the second carbon atom. That is why 2,2-dimethyl. And since there are 3 carbon atom on this straight chain, it is pentane. So this is how the chain isomer of propane is given. Now we are going to study the isomer of hexane, that is C6H14. The molecular formula will remain the same, but the arrangements will differ. Arrangements in the chain will differ. So we can write C6H14 as CH3, CH2, 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 CH3. So the naming will be hexane, or it can be written as N-hexane. So if we consider a case where there is a substitution of methyl group on the second carbon atom, that is CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. In this case, is there any difference in the number of carbon and hydrogen? See, we have 6 carbon and a total of 14 hydrogen. So it can be given as isohexane, or the naming is 2-methyl of methyl group is on the third carbon atom. Then CH3, CH2, CH, CH3, CH2, CH3. Then the naming is 3-methyl pentane, since the substitution is on the third carbon atom. Now if there is a substitution on the second and third carbon atom, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is there any change in the number of carbon atoms? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Total 6 carbon atoms are there, and the number of hydrogens are also same. So 6, 9, 12, 14. 14 hydrogen is also there. So the naming will be 2,3-dimethyl butane. Now if the substitution is, there are two substitution of methyl group on the second carbon atom. In that case, it is CH3, C, CH3, CH3, CH2, CH3. Here also you can see that there is no difference in the number of carbon atom and hydrogen. So the naming will be 2,2-dimethyl butane. So this is the isomerism of hexane. So from the examples we considered, it is clear that as the number of carbon atoms in alkanes increases, the number of chain isomers also increases. So now we are going to learn the preparation of alkanes from Grignard reagent. So what is Grignard reagent? Yes, the compound containing alkyl, magnesium and halide group. That is, alkyl magnesium halide is Grignard reagent. It is named after the scientist who prepared this reagent. That is, Victor Grignard prepared this reagent. So Grignard reagent is actually prepared by treating alkyl halide with magnesium metal in presence of dry ether to give alkyl magnesium halide. That is, when alkyl halide is treated with magnesium metal in presence of dry ether, it gives alkyl magnesium halide. So if we consider the Grignard reagent, that is alkyl magnesium halide, the carbon of the alkyl group which is attached to magnesium, okay, is more electronegative than that of magnesium. So if a proton donating group is reacted with Grignard reagent, the carbon of alkyl group will attract the proton donating group towards itself, resulting in the formation of alkane. Let's consider an example where CH3MgX reacts with proton donating group like water, H2O. We know that H2O is H plus OH minus. So H plus is proton donating. We can say it is proton. So when it reacts with H2O, it gives CH3 combines with H plus of water and results in the formation of CH4, that is methane, along with MgXOH. So if we consider another example where H3CH2 MgX MgCl is reacted with H2O, it gives CH3CH3 plus MgCl. ClOH minus. So this is one method for the preparation of alkanes from Grignard reagent. Now we are going to learn the preparation of alkanes from carboxylic acid. There are two methods for the preparation of alkanes from carboxylic acid. One is decarboxylation, the other is Kolb's electrolysis method. Decarboxylation means the removal of carbon dioxide from the carboxylic acid, that is removal of CO2 group from COOH. Decarboxylation of carboxylic acid can be carried out by treating it with soda lime. What is soda lime? Soda lime is a mixture of NaOH and calcium oxide at a ratio of 3:1 to give alkanes. So we can consider a case where carboxylic acid is treated with sodium hydroxide to give sodium salt of carboxylic acid. The sodium salt of carboxylic acid is treated with soda lime to give alkanes. The presence of calcium oxide doesn't precipitate, but it actually helps the reaction. So let's consider where carboxylic acid, RCOO, sodium salt of carboxylic acid, Na, is reacted with NaOH in presence of calcium oxide at 637 kelvins to give RH plus Na2CO3. So that is Na2CO3 is taken from here. Our alkyl group combines with the hydrogen. So let's consider an example where CH3COOH, acetic acid, is reacted with NaOH to give CH3COONA, sodium acetate plus H2O. Then sodium acetate is treated with soda lime, CH3COONA plus NaOH in presence of calcium oxide at 637 Kelvin gives CH4 plus Na2CO3 . Now, if we have to prepare ethane from propanoic acid, then propanoic acid CH3CH2COOH is reacted with sodium hydroxide to give sodium propanate, that is CH3CH2COONA plus H2O, water molecule. Then sodium propanate is treated with soda lime, that is CH3CH2COONA plus NaOH and in the presence of calcium oxide at 637 kelvins to give CH3CH3 plus sodium carbonate, Na2CO3. So this is one method of preparing alkanes by decarboxylation or by removing carbon dioxide from carboxylic acid. The next method for the preparation of alkane from carboxylic acid is by Kolb's electrolysis method. This method actually involves the electrolysis of sodium salt or potassium salt of carboxylic acid, and alkane is obtained at the anode side. Now let's consider an example where current is passed through a solution containing sodium salt of ethanoic acid. That is, if current is passed through CH3CONA solution containing sodium salt of ethanoic acid, then alkane is obtained at the anode side. That is, in this case, there will be a production of to free radical. These free radicals, 2CH3CO minus free radical, further gives 2CH3 free radical plus CO2, 2CO2. This free radicals give CH3, CH3. And at the cathode side, H2O liberates electrons, 2 electrons to give 2OH minus plus 2H2 gas. So, by this method it is clear that there is a production of even number of alkanes, that is alkanes containing even number of carbon atoms. So there is a production of ethane, butane, hexane, octane, decane, but there is no production of alkanes containing odd number of carbon atoms. The next method for the preparation of alkanes from aldehyde, ketone and alcohol. So in this method, alcohol, aldehyde and ketone can be reacted with red potassium and with hydroiodic acid to produce alkanes. So here let's see how alcohols react with hydroiodide in presence of red potash to give alcohol, that is alkane is produced with the liberation of 2 iodine plus H2O. Okay. In the second case where aldehyde is used, aldehyde means there is a presence of COH. RCHO is reacted, aldehyde group is reacted with hydroiodic acid in presence of red potash to give RCH3 plus 4 iodine plus 2I2 plus H2O. Now in the case where ketone group is reacted with hydroiodic acid in presence of red potash to give RCH2R plus iodine gas plus the liberation of water molecule. So let's consider example where CH3OH reacts with 2HI in presence of red potash to give CH4 plus 2I2 plus H2O. I2 plus H2O. Now let's consider the case CH3CHO reacting with a mixture of hydroiodic acid with red potash to give CH3 plus I2 in presence of liberation of water molecule. Now we are going to see where CH3C double bond O keto group is reacted with hydroiodide in presence of red potash to give CH3, CH2, CH3 plus I2 plus H2. So this is one method where aldehyde, ketone and alcohol can be treated with a mixture of hydroiodic acid and red potash to give alkane. So in today's class, we started a new chapter, that is hydrocarbons, and in this chapter we started learning about alkanes. We learned the nomenclature, their isomerism shown by alkane, and we also learned three methods for the preparation of alkane. The first method is the preparation of alkane from Grignard reagent. Then we learned how to prepare alkanes from carboxylic acid. And now we also finished learning how to prepare alkanes from alcohol, aldehyde and ketones.